we hope that we look at design and scale and size from the perspective of different fields. We have a really interesting mix of different people and different perspectives. We have some architects, some interior designers, we have an actor, we have a chef. So I think it's going to be a really interesting program.
I live in a city which covers 7,500 square kilometers and has 4 to 4.5 million people. Minsuk lives in and works in a city which covers 300 square kilometers and has 22 million people. So here's the population of a continent in one city. And this has an amazing impact on the work that he does. How do you design spaces where people can actually be by themselves when they're surrounded by people?
Actually, it's interesting that you mentioned this, the notion of zoning out, because we had some extensive research about that. And it's not only the scale, physical scale of the architecture and also the urban space, but also the velocity, the scale of the velocities.
Against popular belief, bigger isn't better. That is a cinnamon and nutmeg ice cream. This dessert is a perfectly timed dessert such that by the time you eat your anti-gravity component, that your float would have melted, dropped, and then it forms a ginger beer float. Now there was a lot of pain when it came to choosing the size of the crockery, because to make the perfect souffle, it's very hard to make a good souffle, but unless you get the formula right. Now for souffle, it can't be too small.
You and I, the human being who, over the years, centuries and decades of development, architectural, cuisine, theatre development, has remained in a way constant.
This is another play in a very small space, and in this case I decided to make the space smaller than it actually was by having the audience sit all around the space. So it's a theatre in the round. But the reason for doing this is because I felt this way the audience become actually the actors, because you're watching not just the actor on stage, but you're also watching the audience across the seat from you, reacting either to that actor or to another actor, or sometimes unexpectedly to somebody who is looking at them in the audience, and then there was a little reaction between people and a frisson and a sense of recognition between people. So this was a very small space. To get to their seat, the audience had to walk into the stage, so the stage was not a separate thing from them as well. And by becoming part of it, they became part of the performance. So it's a very democratic space, and as human beings, I think we like to be included. We like being part of the picture.
Would you agree with Shakespeare when he says all the world's a stage?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there is a place for shock and awe, but would shock and awe be shock and awe if everything shocked and awed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do all the small things we do matter in this rapid developing design world? Are they contributing enough to the overall design development? Are we being too slow? Should we really catch up and try our hands on larger scale projects and make a bigger impact? Frankly, I have no answer to that.
I mean, my one comment, it was really interesting. The very first slide that we saw from Minsuk was, of course, the images of Chu formula for the human body. It all starts with the human body.